What if I told you there was a social media company that at one point was the fastest social media company in the world? And then after the 2020 election, millions and millions and millions of people joined this app literally in November, making it the #1 app downloaded on the App Store. And then in January of 2021, Amazon Web Services pulled the support from this platform, forcing it to be removed from both Google Play and Apple App Store. And this app is back. And not only is it back, it's probably one of the most exciting comeback stories you're ever going to hear. And this social media company I'm talking about, it's called Parler. Parler's back. Parler's better than ever. It's built on blockchain. And we're going to talk about all of that and more on this episode of Here's the Dill. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Here's the Dill. It is like 9:30 on Wednesday night, and I'm recording this episode, and I need coffee. So if you're new to the show, you know that I have one of the best coffees in the world that I partnered with Cool Beans Coffee Brewery called the Broadcast Brew. Guys, when you drink too much coffee, sometimes your stomach starts hurting and you get acid reflux because, believe it or not, coffee's kind of acidic. You drink this coffee, and it's some of the best coffee you've ever had, and it's low acid. So check it out. Link is in description. Support the show. I'm drinking it. You should drink it too. And when you buy some, not only do you support this show, you also support a local business in Michigan. But recently, I was in Miami hanging out with billionaires. And you might be saying to yourself, Dillon, what were you doing in Miami hanging out with billionaires? And to that answer, I still don't really know. It's all kind of a blur. The whole thing's kind of crazy, but I want to tell you guys the whole story. And to give you context of why I was in Miami hanging with billionaires, we need to go back to November of last year, 2024. November of 2024, I was planning for my trip that you guys know I already took called AmFest. I was asked to be on Media Row, and I was prepping for everything. And this lady, I'm just going to call her KJ, sent me an email one day. Randomly got it in my email. I'm like, opened it. Like, what's this? And it said Parler. I was like, okay, let me check it out. And the email basically said this. I want you to know, I'm a big fan of the show. Really think you have something special. Really have enjoyed it. And I was like, okay, cool. And she's like, we actually want to interview you. We'd love for you to connect you with Amy, our national spokeswoman at AmFest. I was like, okay, cool. That's really nice. That was really, encouraging, guys, because content creation's a lonely game. And sometimes you feel like you're just talking to the void. And to get an email that, like that was really, really special. And, my guard was up. I didn't really know, like, if they were trying to get something, I was like, is it kind of a little maybe too good to be true? I don't know these people at all. And they randomly just reached out to me. It turns out she has a friend that found my show because of the Babylon Bee clips that went viral when Joel Berry came on the show last year. And one of those clips almost have 500,000 views on YouTube. And her friend found those clips. And since then has become a fan of my show. And so he told her about me. And they checked out my show, they liked it, and it was really encouraging. So anyway, I did an interview with Amy. It was absolutely incredible. You'll see maybe a little bit B-roll of that interview somewhere here. And it was just kind of a surreal experience that this app and this person and this group of people were supportive of what I was doing. And again, my guards were up this whole time. Like, I was kind of thinking they're trying to get me to sign some, like, deal that's going to sell my soul to the devil kind of thing. And it actually has not been that at all. It's actually just been like, these people have just been awesome. Really good people trying to grow an app, very strategic in what they're doing. But they've been good people. And everyone I met has followed through with everything they've said. And so I kind of just kept following the Lord, like, as he's leading me through this path. It's been really cool. And in fact, at AmFest on Media Row, I had the opportunity to interview a guy named Brian. Now, Brian is the creator of a blockchain called Optio. That's going to be very important later today. And you might be, the moment I say blockchain, you might be thinking, oh, great, cryptocurrency, it's some scam, blah, blah, blah. Let me just really quick lay those thoughts to bed. I did a conversation with a guy that's really into crypto and really into blockchain named Austin Hunt. And what he said was really interesting about a year ago. I'm going to link it in the description. Make sure you watch it after this. But the technology of blockchain, like the actual technology of blockchain, is really what is most exciting. It's not about the actual coins and all these random coins and, Ethereum and Dogecoin, all this stuff. That's not really where the excitement is. The excitement is like what this blockchain can do. And so anyway, this guy named Brian created this blockchain that's a utility blockchain. It does something, and we know it does. It hosts apps in a decentralized, safe way. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. So he made this blockchain, and in a second, we're going to play a clip from the interview. I interviewed him. You should watch it to get the whole context of why he did it. And he said, to have proof of concept, I need to start a social media company to prove that this blockchain functions. He runs into Yasser, and Yasser's like, well, I just bought Parler, and there's still, over 10 million people that still have it downloaded on their phones. They just don't know we're back yet. And then a relationship was born. Parler was put on blockchain, and since then they've been doing some incredible things, which I'm going to tell you about in just one second. So with all this happening, my show is still growing. I'm still doing interviews, and I'm still kind of trying to grow the show. And then as you guys know, I think I mentioned in one of my shows, I was really sick in January, February. So keep in mind, AmFest finished right before Christmas. Literally 2 days after Christmas, I came home and was just like throwing up fever, just sick as a dog. Maybe felt good for a week after that, then was sick again. Felt good for maybe a couple days, was sick again. And that was just January through February. And I mean, I don't know if you guys can tell or not, I've lost like 15 pounds since Christmas already. And so that's been like January, February. But in the back of my mind, I've kind of kept in touch with the Parler team, and they've been doing some really cool things. And let me just kind of tell you ahead of time, by the way, like I am not paid to do this. This was like, I wanted to make this video because I think they're doing something cool, and I want to tell you about it. So I'm not being paid they're like, Dillon, go make this video. That's not happening at all, just for the record, real quick. This was me. They don't even know I'm making this video right now. Like, I'm just recording this, and I'm telling you guys about what I'm excited about. So this is what they did. So originally, Parler was the original free speech app, right? Because back in 2020, keep in mind of what was happening back in 2020. You had Facebook censoring things on the conservative side. You have proof when Elon Musk released the Twitter files that the CIA and the FBI were putting pressure on Twitter to throttle certain things or boost certain posts and censor certain people. And it was provable later. I mean, with the Twitter file, the Twitter files, that did happen. It is fact. And so then people were, by the millions, going to Parler. It was a place to have free speech. It was like the town square, like the original town square that Elon calls X now, but like it was there. It happened. Like literally, I said in the intro, it was the number one growing social media company in the world of November of 2020. Like, it was a big deal. And then overnight, the government just pulled the plug. They said, hey, Amazon Web Services, AWS, stop allowing them, stop hosting them, stop giving them support. Overnight, gone. 20 million users, or however many, over 10 million active users, gone. No explanation, just the app stopped working. A month or two later, they try to bring it back with new rules, and the original Parler team just lost that momentum. It just didn't exist. And then you have Elon Musk buying Twitter. So then Elon Musk buying Twitter again kind of had, Parler up against the ropes a little bit, right? Because they kind of branded themselves as the free speech app, and then that's kind of what Elon has branded X to be. So then it's like, well, what are they really trying to accomplish? Like, why does Dillon think that the team right now with Yasser and co., right, the team that they have, they're doing something special? And the reason I think that is because two things. Number one, this time they're coming back on blockchain. And I know I mentioned a little bit about blockchain, but basically all this means very simply is the government can't touch them again. They're protected because of the blockchain. That's a really special thing. That's important to what they're doing. And there's so many different capabilities and cloud capabilities with them being on the blockchain that makes it so unique that I think that they have come up with a very special thing. Brian and Yasser together, I think, have come up with a very, very special thing. But they're not just back as Parler. See, they also created an app called PlayTV, which is literally like a YouTube, a Rumble, a video playing site, but housed within the Parler app. Let me tell you why I think this is awesome, by the way. You know what I hate? This is what I hate. I hate when being on X, and I love X, by the way. Elon, you're awesome. But I hate being on X, and I find a video that I like, and I finally find this video, and then it's gone. Like I swipe down, I swipe up, I swipe back, or I hit the wrong button, and that video is gone to the ether of X. Like it's whatever it is, it's just never coming back. And I'm like, well, you try searching for it and you can't search really for videos very well. They don't really pop up very well because it's not built as like a native video platform. On the flip side, on YouTube that's all it is. It's a video platform. It's not for social posts. And so as a content creator, I'm having to grow multiple different social media sites with different styles of content. And then as a consumer, if I find a video on X, I'm never finding that thing again. And if I find a post or something that I like on YouTube, I'm never finding that again. So what Parler did is they created PlayTV within the Parler ecosystem. So as a creator, which is really exciting. So if you're a creator watching this, it's really cool. When I post a video on PlayTV and let's say somebody follows me, that also gives me a follow on my Parler account. And vice versa. Let's say you find someone on Parler and you give them a follow. You also just follow their PlayTV account, which means you get notified when they post videos. But that also means if you find a video, you now have a native video player to search for in PlayTV. So if you want, like within the Parler ecosystem to watch content, you have an app designated for that. And if you just want to scroll through, you can do that too. And it's so they've developed this thing perfectly for creators that says, hey, you want to build your video platform and your social presence at the same time? Join Parler. I think that's a pretty unique thing that they're the only company in the world that I know of that has both. They also created something called Parler Shop. In fact, my merch and my coffee, Cool Beans Coffee Brewing, is going to be on Parler Shop soon. And soon they're coming out with something called Parler Pulse. They're bigger than just social media. This team that they have, they're doing a lot of really cool things. Now, let's go back to why I was in Miami. I was in Miami because of the Optio side of this. You're like, what's Optio again? Optio is the blockchain. Optio is the powerhouse behind this whole project. It's the ability for users to have their data safe. It's the ability to have users to monetize their data. I'll explain what that means in a second. Earn rewards and so many other possibilities because of Optio. So I was invited to go to Miami to this Optio event, which is really, really cool. I got the invite and I was just going to go as a spectator. Like, sure, let me just see what this is about. I want to learn more. I'm interested. So I bought my plane ticket, bought my hotel room, and I was planning to go. And guys, this is how the Lord works. This is like thinking through this live with you guys is kind of wild for me because I get a text like a week before the event. And the team said, hey, the guy that was supposed to run a fireside chat, like live interview with Brian, who's the creator of Optio, he can't make it because his mother's sick. Would you mind leading the fireside chat for us? And I was like, oh, me? But sure. I mean, I get like, and I kid you not, like, true story. I got the text when I was about ready to step in the shower. So I'm butt naked at this point. Like I have this phone, and I get the text that says, "Hey, Dillon, would you be interested in doing this interview?" And I just sprint out of the bathroom, cheeks flapping in the wind. And I'm like, honey, I go to my wife and she's like, first of all, why are you naked in my kitchen? I'm like, listen, I was just asked to do a fireside chat for the Parler Optio event in front of a bunch of billionaires in Miami at a billionaire's house. Should I say yes? And she was like, you what? We were both just dumbfounded with this request for me to do this. And obviously I said yes. This is a situation you can't say no to. There's no version of this that I'm saying no. Absolutely. Like, I have to say yes to this, right? Like, I can't say no. So even though I felt maybe a little outside of my comfort zone, or maybe I'm like, are you sure they got the right guy? Like, I really want to make sure that I do a good job. I had to say yes. So I said yes. And all of a sudden this trip turned from like I'm just going to go as a spectator to, oh, this is real. Like, this is a real thing. So fast forward, I get to Miami, get the hotel room. I go to where the location of this event is, and it's beautiful. Like, it's just a beautiful, beautiful house and environment. And yeah, the event goes great. We do a fireside chat. It goes well. It's well received. And I met some absolutely incredible people that hopefully soon I'm going to be able to interview and have them on my show. And since then, I've just kind of developed more and more of a relationship with this company. And looking back on everything, like the trip and Parler, and like, I recorded my first episode of the podcast about 2 years ago. And I recorded about one episode per month is all I did. And then in November, I did a test on Here's the Dill, which is the episode you're listening to right now. And it did really well, a little pilot test. And to think that God would allow me to have these random experiences is just really exciting. And to me, what I think is really cool about all of this is the fact that even though so many times it's a lonely road, so many times I felt like I wanted to give up, it's like right in those moments, God just either gave me the right encouragement, the right comment, the right person at the right time to keep going. But let me wrap this show up because I wanted this to be a little bit of a shorter show. Um, if you're not on Parler, I would love to see you there. Find me as at I'm Dillon England at Parler. I would love to see you join Parler, join PlayTV. It's a cool experience. And guys, this is like an opportunity. While Parler existed before, in a way, it's like a grassroots opportunity. They've updated. They're doing so many things with Parler Shop and PlayTV, and I'd love to see you there. It's a cool app. It's an opportunity to maybe do something different. It's still a free speech platform that we desperately need more of these types of platforms. And it's backed by the blockchain. If you guys are interested in the whole blockchain thing, I am going to have Brian, the creator of Optio, back on my show. I'll make sure I link that when that happens, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that. So I say all this to say thank you. Thank you guys so much for supporting me over the past 2 years. I mean, like, it's crazy to think that a guy that started a podcast interviewing local Detroit entrepreneurs are now having talks and the ability to go to Miami and meet with billionaires and have other really cool people on the show and growing this thing. And this is awesome, guys. This is what Here's the Dill. Like, Here's the Dill, this whole side podcast. The goal of this is just to give you guys a little behind the scenes look and obviously give my political takes, give my current event takes and business and politics and all that stuff. But really, like, this is also why I wanted to do this, was just to let you guys in a little bit on some of the stuff that's going on. And so thank you for your support. I really think that Parler's doing something special. I'd love for you to download Parler. The link is in the description. Follow me. They are not paying me for this. I've said this before. They're not paying me. But there are talks of something exciting happening. And if that does happen, I will definitely make sure to update you guys on that. But this video was just because I like them and I think they're doing great. So please find me on Parler, download the app, click the link in the description to download the app, create your account. And if you have any questions, please put it in the comments below. Thank you, guys. Did you enjoy this? Let me know. Did you enjoy this different style of content where it was more of a story of the behind the scenes, or do you prefer the current event stuff? Let me know in the comments below what you prefer, what you like, what you don't like. And thank you guys for listening to this episode of Here's the Dill. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.